She who walks alone is not lost. She's forging a new path where none dared to step. There's a storm behind every calm face, and when it comes to the Sigma female, she's not part of the storm. She is the storm, tamed into focus. She moves differently, thinks differently, doesn't just walk against the current, she walks where there's no path at all. Sigma ladies, if you've ever been told you're too intense, too private, or too hard to read, congratulations. You're not broken, you're custom built. Today, we're not doing a surface-level personality breakdown. Forget the fluff. We're diving into the real, raw, often misunderstood habits that make Sigma females not just rare, but magnetic. And I'm not here to repeat what every pop psychology post says. You won't hear about independent or strong here. That's old news. You already know that. This episode is about the weird, wild, often invisible rituals and behaviors that make a Sigma mind tick, and why those quirks are your greatest superpower. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button if you're done with fake empowerment and want real insight. We build queens here, quiet ones, powerful ones, and if this episode hits home, consider buying me a coffee. The link's in the description and pinned comment. You'd be surprised how far that support goes. Let's crack this code open. 1. Ghost mode engagement. You know the feeling. A message pops up and you read it, then nothing, no reply. Not because you're being rude, not because you don't care, but because your brain files it under respond later and then deletes the tab from your consciousness like a ninja. Sigma females are notorious for disappearing into ghost mode, but unlike ghosting out of malice, this is strategic withdrawal. Social energy for a Sigma is a finite resource, like battery life. And that ping from a group chat, it's like an unexpected app draining 20% at once. She doesn't engage in constant communication because she doesn't need constant validation. When she goes quiet, it's not avoidance. It's maintenance. She's recalibrating, sorting through thought clutter, prioritizing real-world moves over digital noise. And here's what most people don't get. Sigma females reply mentally before they ever reply in text. She's having full conversations in her head, crafting the perfect response, analyzing tone, measuring energy. But sometimes, after that mental exchange, she decides the real reply isn't even necessary. Silence becomes the final word. This behavior confuses extroverts, frustrates needy acquaintances, and puzzles colleagues. But for a Sigma, it's not optional. It's essential. It's a boundary, a system, a shield from overexposure. Ghost mode isn't her being flaky. It's her protecting her frequency. 2. Mirror debriefs. Most people look in the mirror to fix their appearance. Sigma females, they look in the mirror to download themselves. Ever caught yourself zoning out while staring into your own eyes? Not out of vanity, but out of strategy. That's a mirror debrief. Sigma females use mirrors not as tools of beauty, but as private reflection chambers. It's where decisions get tested, emotions get decoded, and internal conflicts get confronted. Here's the twist. The mirror becomes a version of herself she can dialogue with. Some call it overthinking. She calls it processing. She'll break down a conversation from earlier that day, pausing, rewinding, reconstructing energy cues. She'll rehearse a difficult conversation. She'll confront her own insecurities head-on without flinching. And the person looking back, it's not just her, it's her shadow, her coach, her twin flame, and her critic. You can't rush a mirror debrief. It could take minutes or a whole hour, and she'll walk away sharper than before, like a soldier who's reviewed the battle map before returning to the front lines. People who don't do this will never understand how Sigma females manage to stay 2 moves ahead. They're not psychic. They're just mentally militant. 3. Random nomadism. To outsiders, it might seem chaotic. rearranging her room at 2 a.m., booking a solo weekend getaway on a random Thursday, switching up her wardrobe or deleting all her playlists just to start from zero. This isn't instability, this is random nomadism, and it's her method of liberation. Sigma females sense stagnation before it even shows up. When their physical space starts to feel stale, they act. Not impulsively, but instinctively. Shifting their environment shifts their inner algorithm. When she moves her furniture, she's actually reprogramming her state of mind. When she travels alone, she's not escaping, she's re-anchoring. Sigma females thrive in reinvention. They don't wait for breakdowns to make changes. They sense when energy starts looping, and they break the loop before it breaks them. This habit might seem weird to friends. Why not just sit still? Why so much change? But for a Sigma, stillness isn't peace, it's potential decay. Movement equals maintenance. Her nomadic shifts aren't about geography, they're about realignment. She doesn't run from her problems, she moves to stay sharp enough to solve them. 4. Silence weaponization. Silence is often mistaken for weakness. But when a Sigma female goes silent, it's not a retreat, it's a tactical lockdown. When energy around her turns noisy, dramatic, or manipulative, she doesn't argue, she doesn't chase, she observes. Her silence isn't empty, it's scanning, analyzing, recording. She picks up more in one quiet moment than most do in a loud argument. She's mastered the art of don't react. Detect while others fumble over their words, defend their egos, or spiral into confrontation. She slips into her power zone, pure presence without performance. Silence gives her control. It flips the script. In conversations, it forces others to fill the gap. And when they do, they reveal what they really think. In conflict, it creates psychological distance. In relationships, it separates the emotionally intelligent from the insecure. Her silence can calm chaos, confuse enemies, or send a louder message than a 10-minute monologue. And it's not passive, it's precision. When she's quiet, she's not absent. She's loading, calculating, upgrading. She isn't using silence to avoid the world. She's using it to dominate it without ever raising her voice. 5. Deep dive wormholes. 1 minute she's watching a documentary about ancient rituals. The next, she's 4 hours deep into articles, papers, and Reddit threads about forgotten civilizations, neurolinguistics, or black hole theory. Welcome to the deep dive wormhole, a Sigma female's idea of a good time. She doesn't browse, she burrows. She doesn't like to learn, she obsesses. When a topic catches her spark, it becomes a temporary universe. She'll devour books, podcasts, lectures, and journals like she's prepping for a thesis. No one assigned it, curiosity did. She doesn't do this for clout either. She rarely talks about what she's learned unless it becomes relevant. Her hunger isn't social, it's spiritual. She wants to understand how things work beneath the obvious. She may emerge hours or days later, seemingly unchanged. But internally, new frameworks, perspectives, and ideas are running her software. She won't tell you she just rewired her worldview, but it'll show in her language, in her silence, in her decisions. These wormholes are her version of self-expansion, her way of escaping the mediocre, the shallow, the scripted. While others doom scroll or gossip, she's time-traveling through thought. To her, obsession isn't scary, it's a tool. She uses it to sharpen her edge. 6. Selective ghosting with zero guilt. Here's a cold, unfiltered truth. Sigma females don't do energy drainers. They don't fake smiles. They don't play nice to avoid discomfort. And when someone crosses a line, she doesn't create drama. She exits. This is selective ghosting, and it's surgical. No long explanations, no back and forth, no trying to make them understand. She simply vanishes. It's not about punishment, it's about self-preservation. Most people have guilt coded into their system when it comes to cutting ties. Sigma females, they have clarity. They know when a connection has expired, when a vibe is off, when someone's energy starts corroding their peace. And instead of second-guessing or over-explaining, they pull the plug, fast, clean. What looks like coldness to others is actually discipline, emotional discipline. Sigma females know that their time and energy are currency, and they don't invest it where there's no return. And here's the twist. When she ghosts, she doesn't look back. There's no creeping on profiles, no checking for updates, no texting just to check in. Once a door closes, it locks from her side. She doesn't ghost to escape accountability. She ghosts because not everyone deserves access. 7. Background boss mode. She enters a room without saying much, and somehow the air shifts. No flashy entrances, no loud laughs or exaggerated energy. But people feel her. This is background boss mode, a Sigma female's signature frequency. She doesn't need the spotlight to own a space. She operates like gravity, invisible but inescapable. While others fight for attention, she builds presence. Her posture, her eye contact, her silence, they carry weight. People listen when she speaks, not because she demands it, but because her words aren't wasted. When she's quiet, it's not awkward, it's loaded. She doesn't insert herself into every conversation. She reads the room before she speaks, and when she does, it's either razor-sharp insight or a boundary-setting one-liner that changes the whole vibe. She's not trying to lead, but others start following her anyway. It's influence without effort, respect without chasing approval. She doesn't ask for permission. She moves like she already has it. This habit is confusing to attention seekers. Why does she get noticed without trying? Simple, she doesn't compete, she commands. 8. Mental time traveling. She could be sitting quietly on a train, at work, or in bed at night, and her mind is replaying a moment from 2 years ago. A conversation, a look, a sentence, not out of guilt, not from anxiety, but from strategic review. Sigma females are mental time travelers. They revisit their own history like detectives, decoding the unspoken, analyzing motives and searching for patterns. She doesn't obsess over what if. She analyzes the why then. Every flashback is data. What did they really mean by that tone? Why did her gut feel tight in that moment? What warning signs were present that she ignored? This isn't rumination, it's calibration. While most people try to forget awkward or painful moments, Sigma females dissect them to extract lessons. And it goes forward too. She'll mentally simulate future scenarios, plan conversations, rehearse outcomes. She'll know what she's going to say in a meeting next week, and she'll also have backup responses preloaded. This mental time travel gives her a quiet edge. She sees 10 steps back and 10 steps forward, while everyone else is stuck on the now. Her brain doesn't overthink, it pre-thinks. 9. No small talk policy. Small talk is the social glue of the world. Weather, traffic, weekend plans. It keeps conversations light and non-threatening. But for a Sigma female, it's torture. She doesn't do shallow. She doesn't care how your morning was unless it connects to something real. And it's not because she's cold or arrogant. It's because her mind operates in layers, not surfaces. She craves depth, curiosity, meaning. She'd rather have one soul-shifting, awkward, mind-bending conversation than 50, "Hey, how are you?" loops. Put her in a room with strangers, and she'll gravitate toward the one person who wants to talk about existential dread, systems thinking, childhood trauma, or quantum consciousness. And she'll skip the pleasantries to get there. This habit makes her seem antisocial, but really, she's hyper-selective. She doesn't want to waste energy faking interest. Her mind rejects scripts. And here's the secret. When a conversation does go deep, she lights up. She becomes magnetic. Her eyes burn with focus. Her words flow. She connects hard and fast when she finds someone who matches her frequency. If the convo isn't real, she's already mentally checked out. 10. Pattern sniping. She doesn't miss much. A glance, a hesitation, a change in someone's tone, a contradiction in someone's story. It's all downloaded instantly. This is pattern sniping, a Sigma female's hidden superpower. While others hear words, she catches underlying rhythms. She picks up on repetition in behavior, tone, timing, and energy. She'll notice that someone only texts her when they're bored, that someone's kindness always follows guilt, that someone's confidence is a performance covering insecurity. And she stores these micro-patterns like a chess player memorizing the board. This ability doesn't come from paranoia, it comes from presence. She's deeply present in every interaction, even if she seems casual. Her mind runs a silent algorithm in the background, connecting dots in ways others don't even know exist. It's why she's hard to manipulate, why she senses betrayal before it happens, why she can look at someone once and know if they're dangerous, fake, or real. People may think she's intuitive, but it's more than that. It's data collection at an elite level, observation as a survival tactic, pattern recognition as a strategy for independence. Sigma females don't ask, "What did they say?" They ask, "What did they show me?" repeatedly. 11th, rebellion with rituals. To the outside world, her routines may look strange, even obsessive. She listens to the same playlist every morning. She walks the same streets at night. She writes the same sentence in her journal for weeks. It's not random, it's not compulsive, it's ritual. Sigma females are low-key ritualists, but not in a spiritual or mystical way, in a mental hygiene way. Her rituals are her rebellion, her resistance to chaos, her armor against burnout and noise. She builds private systems that no one else needs to understand. Her morning doesn't start with Instagram, it starts with silence. Her coffee isn't about caffeine, it's about control. Her night walk isn't exercise, it's energetic detox. And here's what's wild. If you try to interrupt her rituals, she'll shut down. Not angrily, just firmly, because those tiny habits, they're boundaries in disguise. They're how she maintains power in a world that keeps trying to pull her in every direction. She doesn't need to make loud declarations. She doesn't need to burn the system down. She just builds her own, quietly, daily, relentlessly. And there it is, Sigma ladies. 11 habits that might make people call you distant, odd, intense, or just plain weird. But now you know the truth. They're not flaws, they're your filters. They're how you keep your frequency clean, your power intact, and your mind sharp. The world isn't built for women like us, but we don't bend to fit it. We build our own rhythms, our own language, our own silence. And if you recognized yourself in these habits, if even one of these made you feel seen, you're not alone. You're one of us. Make sure you subscribe to The Sigma Lady for more deep, unfiltered content. No fluff, no noise, just tools and truth for women who don't follow crowds. And if you want to help keep this space alive and thriving, buy me a coffee using the link in the description and pinned comment. That small gesture, it powers the whole ecosystem here. Until next time, walk your own road, guard your energy, and never explain your silence. You're not weird, you're rare. And rare things don't follow maps, they make them.